Have you ever felt like a paradox? Deeply sensitive, empathic, and aware, yet born into a family that seemed to punish that very sensitivity? Why does it often feel like the more light you carry, the more you find yourself navigating the shadows of those meant to nurture you? These are not random twists of fate. They are profound spiritual assignments. And in this video, we'll journey into why the most conscious souls often choose the most challenging family dynamics. We won't approach this from a place of blame, but through the compassionate lens of spiritual psychology, trauma-informed wisdom, and Carl Jung's transformative work on integrating the self. We will uncover how the emotional turbulence of your upbringing was not a mistake, but the very soil your soul needed to grow. We'll explore why being the black sheep or the outlier is actually a sacred role of the highest honor. And most importantly, we'll see how your greatest pain, when met with mindfulness, becomes your most potent source of power. We'll also discuss the art of breaking free from deep-rooted generational patterns and how to cultivate your inner peace, even in environments that challenge your very core. By the end of our time together, you will see your life story not as a series of wounds, but as a map leading you back to your true purpose. Before we dive deep, I invite you to become part of our growing community by subscribing to Mindful Sphere. Together, we explore the path of conscious living and self-realization. Now let's begin. Section 1. The Soul's Training Ground. Carl Jung taught that our family is our first world, the initial spiritual landscape we must navigate. For many awakened souls, this landscape isn't a peaceful garden. It's a rigorous training ground where your deepest gifts are first tested. In family systems that deny emotion, the sensitive child is labeled overly dramatic. The truth teller is called rebellious. This is how Jung's complexes are formed, the invisible blueprints that shape us from beneath our awareness. But this is where the sacred alchemy begins. These challenges were not failures, they were invitations. The chaos wasn't meant to break you. It was the precise pressure needed to forge the diamond of your true self. In a system built on illusion, your awareness was the first crack of dawn. True growth never begins in comfort, it begins in contrast. That feeling of being an old soul is not a fantasy. It is your soul's inner compass pointing you back toward a higher truth. Section 2. The Alchemical Power of Pain. Society views trauma as a scar to be erased, but from a spiritual perspective, trauma is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of the soul's heroic journey. Pioneers like Dr. Gabor Mate show how pain can disconnect us, but Jung taught that this very disconnection, when met with awareness, ignites our quest for wholeness. This is why you became a seeker. Your heightened awareness is not a disorder, it's the genesis of your awakening. While others lived on autopilot, you were shaken awake early. Remember, the pain itself didn't make you special. The awareness it demanded of you did. And from that awareness, you step into your power. Section 3. The Luminary in the Shadows. In nearly every dysfunctional family, there is an outsider, the one who feels too much and refuses to conform. This person is not the weakest link. In Jungian terms, they are the designated carrier of the family shadow, holding all the unspoken truths and repressed emotions the system cannot face. But this role is not a punishment, it is a sacred calling. Because the one forced to carry the shadow is also the one given the power to see it. And to see the darkness clearly is the only way to break its cycle. You were never meant to fit in. You were designed to be the light that illuminates the shadows. Section 4. The Architecture of Authenticity. Once you see through the family illusions, a miraculous shift occurs. You begin to build your own reality, and the first brick is a boundary. In toxic systems, a boundary is seen as rebellion. But in the language of the soul, It is simply the beautiful architecture of self-respect. When you say no from a place of clarity, you aren't rejecting love, you are claiming yourself. This is where individuation becomes real. It's not about isolation, it's about becoming so internally whole that you no longer need validation from those who withheld it. You cease to be a sponge for the projections of people who won't face themselves. In this phase, your sensitivity transforms into wisdom. Your empathy becomes discernment, and your soul begins to lead, not from reaction but from deep, centered presence. Section 5. From Healing to Legacy. Jung taught that the true self emerges only after we've bravely faced the unconscious. If you have survived emotional neglect, spiritual confusion, or the weight of generational shame, you have already walked through that fire. But your journey doesn't end with your own healing. That is just the beginning. Your pain was a preparation. It prepared you to become a blueprint for a new way of being. By refusing to pass down inherited dysfunction, you are not just engaging in personal therapy. You are participating in collective evolution. You are a generational chain breaker. You were never meant to do this work in isolation. The more you anchor into your own truth, the more you become a lighthouse for others who are lost in the same storm. Your story becomes medicine. Your peace becomes a permission slip for others to find their own. And even if the people who caused the pain never understand or apologize, your wholeness no longer depends on them. You have already reclaimed your power. You are not here to repeat history, you are here to complete it with presence, with courage, and with love. If you have journeyed with us to this point, hear this clearly. You are not flawed. You are not lagging behind. Your depth is not a burden, it is your superpower. You are precisely where your soul intended to be. The life you have lived did not weaken you. It qualified you. And now the choice is yours. Will you rise not just for yourself, but as a beacon for the world? If this message stirred something within you, please share your journey in the comments below. What part of your story are you reclaiming today? Subscribe to Mindful Sphere for more explorations into spiritual awakening, shadow work, and conscious healing. Your presence here matters, your path is sacred, and your awakening is already changing the world. We see you, we honor you, and we are walking this path with you.